human trafficking expands worldwide, more than 27 million people are denied autonomy over their lives and actions. A U.S. 2023 Trafficking in Persons report released last month warned of increased online scams and forced labor, and young boys and men face an increased risk of being trafficked. Ndiho reports.
Fighting human trafficking in Africa remains a significant challenge due to various factors such as corruption, weak law enforcement, and limited resources. The U.S. State Department's 2023 Trafficking in Persons report says millions of people are exploited for commercial sex, adults and children alike, within their home countries and across borders.
The United States is committed to combating human trafficking because it represents an attack on human rights and freedoms, violates the universal right of every person to have autonomy over their own life and actions. Today, more than 27 million people around the world are denied that right.
Yvonne Benson Idohosa from Nigeria was among those honored this year for her efforts to combat human trafficking. She uses her non-profit group Pathfinders Justice Initiative to study and fight sex trafficking and advocate for victims in Nigeria.
Essentially what we do is provide support, rehabilitation support for survivors of sex trafficking, but we're also focused on prevention as well for women who are at risk to becoming trafficked.
The Nigerian government has established the National Agency for Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons to combat human trafficking. Idohosa says despite these efforts, challenges persist.
The last reports from Nigeria indicate that there's about 1.6 million people that are actually being trafficked at any given time across the country. But I think that number is highly underreported because there are aspects of trafficking within Nigeria that a lot of people don't even consider, right? So things like domestic servitude or child brides.
Fighting human trafficking requires addressing problems such as poverty and lack of education, which is essential for long-term prevention.
Overall, globally, the issue is something that I think requires a lot more prioritization, particularly from the Nigerian government as well as international governments.
Though progress has been made, the fight against human trafficking in Nigeria continues. It requires collaboration and sustained efforts from all stakeholders to effectively combat this crime and ensure the protection and well-being of vulnerable individuals. Ndiho, VOA News, Washington.